Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. We are entering the last week of 2024, 2023, heading into 2024. Hard to believe. It is hard to believe that we've already gone through another year. It seems like I just created the calendar for 2023's data every year. I start a new calendar. Hey, what's up, KB? Um, Thanks for stopping by, KB. I start a new calendar every year and I put all the data that we go through each year. Save every video, I save every picture. Everything that you see in these videos is saved, it's archived. Hello, Hazel, AZ Watchwoman. AZ Watchwoman is a star family member, as you can see. What's up, Tommy Cunningham, Mandy Lyon, American Dreamer? Merry Christmas, everybody. What's up, guys? Hello, Las Vegas. Good to see y'all here. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, I promised, here, I'll show you guys what I'm holding here. This is my little world here I keep on my desktop. Uh, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, we're going to go over in detail what was seen in the sky, and not just filmed by possible random chance. This showed up in a video as a glare or some sort of a reflection, and these people had no credibility. That is not the case at all. You're going to hear the interview that I did in 2022 from a young lady out of Sierra Vista down by Tucson, Arizona, who saw that in the nighttime sky. Okay, so this was the first time I'd ever received video footage and an email, as you're going to see right here. This is what we're going to get into. This leads up into yesterday's video that I shared with you guys. And to me personally, it gives both of the videos more credibility. These people saw something, and as you're going to see, there are two more videos that I haven't shared yet of this mysterious object, a mysterious object near the moon that has appeared last year in 2020, or yeah, last year in 2022. I'm getting my years mixed up. Times are going so fast. It was seen in 2022 first, seen multiple times in 2023, and we'll see what 2024 brings. But I think it comes in quick, it leaves quick. I think it's on an elliptical orbit. But I got an email December 5th of 2022. And what we're talking about in this video, in case you guys are just joining in, the video that I did yesterday about the dark object that was videoed by a gentleman near the moon was seen last year at about this same time. And it's no coincidence, and it's not a reflection. And I'm gonna prove in this video that what right here, this young lady here, they witnessed it for an hour without the aid of a camera or a recording device. So what they saw in the sky was very real. It was dark, and she said it was about the size of the moon. She actually said it was kind of ominous looking, and this is the email I received from this young lady. And she goes on to say, hello, it's dated December 5th of 2022, and the incident with her and her family occurred about 3 weeks prior on November 16th. She goes on to say, my name is Mandy. I'm from Cochise County, Arizona. The early morning of November 16th, around 2:45 a.m., I spotted keep in mind, the key word here is I spotted. She saw this in the sky. It didn't show up as a possible lens glare on a video or a picture. She saw this in the sky for almost an hour. Okay, so here we go. Just know that. This is what she saw. Her and her family. The morning of November 16th at 2:45 a.m., I spotted a massive object it's actually eastern sky, and I'll get around to that. At first, I thought she said western sky, because you're going to hear the interview. I interviewed this young lady, and you're going to hear her testimony firsthand from her. And I'll let her explain her incredible experience that she experienced from right down the road, about 100 miles, less than 100 miles away. She saw this in the sky. She spotted a massive object. It was actually in the eastern sky. It was halfway between the moon and the horizon. The object to the naked eye, again, she saw this in the sky. That's why the video that I shared with you yesterday, I had no doubt that that was actually in the sky because it reminded me of this here to a T, 100%. Moving on, the object to the naked eye was slightly larger than the moon itself. It could have been an optical illusion depending on how far away the object was. It wasn't showing much light, and the light that it was reflecting, I think it was from the sun, but it was such a dark object it was very hard to see. But I think because it was in the proximity of the moon, it made it visible briefly from the surface of the earth. It goes on to say the object was dark gray in appearance and only illuminated by the moon and probably the sun too. That was located above it and slightly, the object, it was slightly more south. The photos I've sent are of the original and a second that I had edited to put the light on the image, because when she took the image, she had her phone set to, the dark setting, low light, and she didn't see anything. And then the next day, she realized that her phone was set on real low light setting. So once she turned the light up, she could see the object in her picture too. So she saw it in the sky, and it showed up in a picture that I will share with you guys. She goes on to say, the second photo, I edited the light to pull the image out forward. I woke my husband up, and keep in mind, this is at 2:45 in the morning. I woke my husband and two teenage kids to come look, as well as the only description we had for what we were looking at was a planet. Now, again, these people saw this in the sky. Young lady at 2:45 in the morning on November 16th of 2022 sees something in the sky near the moon. And again, it was just briefly. It wasn't like it was up there for hours. And then it shows up again a little over a year later. That's no coincidence. Something new has entered, at least to me, based off of this evidence, and this is real video footage, something new has entered the skies. And it's dark. Could it be a dark star core or something like that? Maybe, I don't know. But let's go on and see what she has to say. She wakes up her entire family. Get up, come outside. You got to see this. So there were 4 witnesses from Cochise County, Arizona. She goes on to say, the only description we had for what we were looking at was a planet. It was visible for approximately 45 minutes, then suddenly seemed to slowly vanish or become invisible without moving as we were looking at it. It just kind of disappeared into the night sky. I've seen a few things in the sky, but this was extremely strange and unsettling due to the sheer size alone of this thing that she saw. Her and her entire family saw it. And again, this didn't show up as some reflection. So when I saw the video that came in yesterday, I'm like, okay, this thing's back. And I think it's on a 13-month orbit. And we're going to talk about that. She said this thing was extremely unsettling due to the sheer size. It gave us all somewhat of a dooming feeling as we looked at it. She goes, since then, I've purchased a telescope. I went the next day and purchased a telescope, and I've been watching for it ever since. It left such an impression on her that, again, she went and spent a bunch of money on a scope to see this thing up close and has not seen it since. This just happened that one night to this young lady and her family down in southern Arizona. And this is the best illustration I could put on a map of, and she said this was accurate. That's about how high up it was in the sky. That's the direction she was looking, and that's where the moon was at. And that's her picture right there. That's the picture of what she saw in the nighttime sky. And if the moon were a clock, that would be at about the 7 o'clock position, right? Okay, so that's in 2022. We come fast forward to 2023, and yesterday's video that you guys saw, or maybe most of you did, maybe some of you didn't. It's pretty interesting. I'm trying to find the video. Okay, here's the video from yesterday right here. This is what Tom saw in the nighttime sky, and it's in the same exact position as where Mandy saw it almost 13 months later. Like, this thing is on some sort of a elliptical orbit, and at times it'll intersect, get close to the moon, and the moonlight and the sunlight will make this visible, but it's only visible with the help of the moonlight. Otherwise, you can't see it. You don't know it's there. That's not that unreasonable. There are millions and millions, and it's billions of these types of objects in the galaxy, in the solar system. They're everywhere. If there's a star nearby, you can rest assured that there's going to be an entire fleet of large asteroids and large comets around the star, because that's where they came from. And we'll get to that story another day. That's how they know how to track these things, because they came from the star itself. But anyway, here's the video footage that I wanted to share with you guys, the new video footage. And then I also have, I don't know how I'm going to do this, what order I'm going to do it. Let's see. This is Mandy's photo right here. I've kind of got this thing scattered. This is a photo that Mandy sent in from Arizona in 2022. Right there's the photo. It's unedited. See how hard it is to see? But her and her family saw that in the nighttime sky. It was hard to see, and it was very hard to photograph. Let's adjust the color just a little bit, or the lighting, because there is no color. And there it is. That was the only way that I could pull it forward. And that's what she saw in the sky. And she said, this feature right here, there's a feature in the middle, and you can tell that this side that faces the sun and the side that faces the indirect moonlight, that's the only side that was visible. She said you could see the outline of a roundish structure in the sky, but that was it. Dark gray that did not reflect light. It just kind of absorbed light. She said it was the craziest thing she'd ever seen in the sky. I want you guys to listen to her interview. I interviewed this young lady because I could tell just through the email, I felt her enthusiasm. I knew she wasn't making it up. She saw something extraordinary, and this is an ordinary young lady that was simply letting her dog out in the middle of the night to take care of his business at 2:45 in the morning, and she happened to look up, and she said at first she didn't know what she was seeing. She didn't even notice it because she was still half asleep. And then once she kind of noticed this thing and how out of place it looked, that's when she went and woke up her family. But check out the interview. I interviewed this young lady. We're going to look at two more examples in the daytime sky of something near the moon at the same general position from Perth, Australia, and Washington, D.C. And what's interesting about the one from Washington, D.C., it's in broad daylight, number one. Number two, you're going to see a large, what looks like a boomerang craft that is outside of the atmosphere. It's not inside the atmosphere. Fly in the vicinity of this object, and this object was spotted unbeknownst to the viewer. They recorded it from Washington, D.C. They were following a boomerang in the sky, a huge boomerang, this giant craft that looked like it was observing this structure in the sky. Oh yeah, so I've seen now 4 different people. I've got at least 8 people that have witnessed this thing now, some indirectly, some directly. Here's the interview from Mandy. Then we're going to go to Washington, D.C. We're going to go to Perth, and then we're going to reanalyze Tom's video from yesterday. And I also have another video sent in by Alley Cat Seeking the Truth from November 30th of 2022, who also noticed something in the nighttime sky. This was last year, about 2 weeks after Mandy saw the object from southern Arizona. It was spotted again. So there's something up there. All these people can't be wrong, and they all can't be making up these videos that have these anomalies in them. In fact, the video you're going to hear by Alley Cat, they ask in the video, someone asks in the video, what is that? And they weren't talking about the moon. Pretty wild stuff. Okay, here we go, guys. Enjoy. I think this is that's the picture right there. I want you to hear the interview. This is Mandy from it's right here. Okay, this is the interview I did with Mandy in December of last year, and this was still fresh on her mind. You can hear the enthusiasm in her voice. Listen to this interview I did This young lady from southern Arizona, of a young lady that witnessed this in the sky. Here we go. This is me calling her. You're going to hear the phone ring. Volume cranked up. Here we go.
Hello?
Hi there.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you, Mandy?
I am doing well. I am very glad that you see what I'm seeing here. I've talked to a couple people about this, and I keep getting shrugged off, and I'm like almost traumatized by what I saw.
Yeah. But I felt, I could tell that you guys saw something extraordinary. You're saying it looked like a planet. Is that the best description?
Yeah, it was
What's up,
frightening. It was larger than the moon. I mean, not a lot bigger, but just a slight bit bigger than the moon. I mean, we could see in the photos that I sent you, if you look to the very top edge of the frame of the photo, you can see kind of a glow.
Yeah.
That's the glow from the moon being just slightly out of frame. And it was just slightly bigger around than the moon was. And the reason that I'd gone outside, my dog woke me up to go out to go to the bathroom, and she's very stubborn. I let her outside, and she will not come back in. So I went outside to call her so I didn't wake my husband up, calling her at the door. We've got a sliding glass door right in the bedroom. And I stepped out on the porch, and I kind of eyeballed around for her and figured I'd give her a little bit more time. And I looked up to the sky. I always look at the Pleiades if I go out at night. Sure. And I looked up to the sky, and I thought it was about midnight, so I was kind of, and I may have said western sky in my email. I meant it was to the east. It was like towards New Mexico from us. So like from your point of view, it would have been like probably over, you're in Phoenix, right?
Yeah, east.
Yeah, so it would have been like over Superstition Mountains kind of area in that direction. So I looked up in the sky, and I saw it. And then my brain was like, I had just woken up, and I was like, didn't think nothing of it. And I looked around, because I was like, okay, the Pleiades is not right there, because it's usually where it's at, like around midnight. Mm-hmm. And I scanned over the sky, and I'm like, okay, well, my eyes are fine, because all the stars were out, and I saw the Pleiades more like above me, and I was like, what did I just see? And I turned, and I looked back, and my heart just sunk. It was just massive. And at the sake of sounding corny, I don't even watch Star Wars or anything, but it literally looked like the Death Star. It looked like it was like another moon, and it was about the same distance above the horizon as it was below the moon. And I'm not good with degrees. My husband says about 15 degrees above the horizon. Okay. And we watched it for about an hour, and it followed with the pace of the moon, but it was dark. It was like gray. So if the moon hadn't been out, it would have been really hard to have seen if it were there. But it was being like illuminated by the light of the moon. You can like literally see the moonlight like shining off the top of it, lighting it up. Otherwise, it was just otherwise dark. And
there you go.
I watched it total for almost an hour. It was about 30 minutes just sitting there dumbfounded before I finally woke my husband up.
Can you imagine?
I had him come out, and his jaw was kind of dropped too. And I was like, I'm waking up the kids. We've got 2 teenage children that were at home, and I went in and got the kids up, made them come out, and everybody, we just stood there. Like, we didn't know what to make of it. We all literally thought we were looking at a massive planet in the sky.
True.
And it was to the extent that I actually went out the next day and I purchased a high-powered telescope, and I stayed up till 4 o'clock the next morning waiting to see it come back, and nothing. And I've been regularly watching the sky since then at night, trying to spot it. It was very ominous, and I don't know, 2 years ago, summer before last, my husband and I were out in the front yard, and I saw the classic saucer UFO with the lights rotating, like fiery orange lights rotating around it, and I grabbed hold of him, and I was like, oh my God, look at that. And we turned around, and it was huge. It was more north from where I'm located. And when I saw that was the first sighting that I've ever really had. Yeah. And I felt overwhelmed. When I saw it, it was like joy and like this weird like feeling of love. And I don't even know what came over me, but I ran out towards my backyard with my arms spread, just yelling, I love you. Oh my God, I love you. And I don't know why I did that, but I felt this overwhelming like emotion towards it. And when I saw the thing that we saw November 16th, that was kind of the opposite feeling. I didn't know what to think of it. I was afraid of what I was looking at.
Yeah,
I was afraid I'm like looking at wormwood, like is that Nibiru or something? What am I seeing?
Or part of it. But now, okay, from your location, it was in the western sky?
No, it was in the eastern sky. I'm super dyslexic, so I may have put western sky in my email. It was to the east of us, so like towards New Mexico.
Gotcha. Okay. So that was the majority of the interview. The rest of it, we're kind of, talking about directions, as you heard. Thank you, Graceful Shooter. You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that. So that was my interview, most of the interview. Like I said, the rest of the interview, we were talking about direction, which it was in the eastern sky, 2:50 a.m. This is an actual photo of what she, her husband, and two children, teenagers, that she woke up her entire family to go outside and look at that. You don't get your entire family out of bed to go outside and see lens glares on your phone. People don't do that. So anyway, in order to add more credibility to what Tom saw in his video, I had to share that because I do think that these people, and it was by sheer accident, they ran across something extraordinary in the sky that from what it looks like, this thing is on a possible 13-month, and I'm thinking it's on some sort of a highly elliptical orbit. That's why we don't see it very often. And the only time it's visible is when it gets in the proximity of the moon, and it's obviously a clear night. And it's probably, if I had to guess, something like this. Probably orbits something like that, but on a 13-month orbit. Comes in, hangs around near the moon, it's visible, and then it disappears. It's gone. Maybe I'm way off base. I don't know, but I think it's something like that. Planetary protector, search Google Sky Anomalies, and you'll see these objects everywhere. They are everywhere. You're exactly right. I'm a member of the Planet Hunters team that was assembled back in 2009. So, things like this don't really surprise me that much. I know they're out there too. And again, here's another picture out of southern Arizona of this object that was spotted in the sky, not just on camera. So that's why yesterday's video, I totally believe the man when he says, yes, I saw this in the sky. And I want to show you something else. Then we're going to go to Perth, and I'm going to take you to Washington, D.C. You're going to love this one in Washington, D.C. You're going to see a big wing fly through the sky. You can't make this stuff up. We're not making it up. It's really happening. If you're halfway attentive to what's going on in the sky around you, eventually you're going to be able to capture something on your smartphone. And that's why there's an increase in sightings. I think this stuff's always been there. It's just that now everybody's carrying around a instant camera with a high definition recording device. All I gotta do is click a button and point. Oh, saw something here, something there, something there. So of course there's going to be more sightings, opposed to say back in the 1980s. Nobody said something nobody even talked about. Okay, I want to show you something because it ties in with the video you just saw. This also occurred in 2022. And there was a lot of talk yesterday about what was in the video was a reflection. And I want to show you what a reflection looks like in a video of the moon, say a 50% moon. Here we go. Alley Cat Seeking the Truth, November 30th of 2022. This thing was still around. It was still visible from time to time. And here we go. They're going to zoom in. You don't see it yet, but wait till they zoom in. And you're going to hear, there's two people here. You're going to hear one of them say, what is that? Okay, notice the reflection. See it right there? Starting to enter the field of view. That's the reflection. See it right there? The reflection moves around. It's over here now to the left. Now it's coming back over to the right. Notice the reflection. There's something above the moon that's not a reflection. I want you to notice the reflection that shows up is backwards. The light's always flipped because the reflection, whenever you're filming the moon and the sun, very bright points of light, the reflection is right here. It's on your recording device. The reflection is not in the sky. It's right there, literally. It's on your recording device. So that's why when the object that you're about to see in the upcoming video went behind the clouds and the moon was still shining bright, that was 100% giveaway that there was something in the sky. But anyway, back to this video, and then now they notice that that's not moving, and someone in the video says, "What is that?" Because I think there it was again. 2022. Real people, real videos. I haven't done anything but zoom in. The young lady from southern Arizona said this thing was moving at about the same pace as the moon. There's the reflection right up there. See it? That's the reflection moving all around. This thing isn't moving. It looks very similar to that. Looks very similar to that. It's just in a different location, different atmospheric conditions, and it makes it look a little different, but there's something there. You're going to hear somebody say, "What is that?" That's what they're looking at now. So this was the second sighting that I knew of from 2022, and I'm sure there were many more. But there's something there, guys. Otherwise, it would be moving all over the place. It's barely visible. It's like it's moving away from the moon at this point, 14 days later from when Mandy saw it.
What is that?
Right there. She just said, "What is that?" And there's your object again. Keep in mind, this is November. There's your reflection right there. See it? There's your reflection. And it's backwards. Reflection would be backwards. There it is. Reflection. So I thought that was an awesome example. Video by Alley Cat Seeking Truth. Not sure of the location. Obviously, it's from the surface of planet Earth, looking up at the moon. I do know the date. This was last year, 2 weeks after Mandy saw this right below the moon at the 7 o'clock position. Then it shows up at the 12 o'clock position 2 weeks later. And again, video by Alley Cat Seeking the Truth. And there's the object above the moon. And there is your backwards reflection. You can see the moon is glowing on the right between the 12 and 6 o'clock. If the moon were a clock, the right-hand side from our point of view would be 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you look at the reflection up in the upper right-hand corner, what's illuminated in the reflection? That's the reflection. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It's the left-hand side of the clock that's illuminated, not the right. It's always flipped. So if in the video that you're going to see again of the object yesterday, if it were a reflection, it would have been flipped, just like you see there, but it's not. I have a feeling that he saw the same thing that Mandy saw in 2022. I think it's highly elusive. I think it maybe is only visible for a few hours at a time, maybe just in November of 2022. It showed up in December of 2023. More than likely, if our assumptions are correct, and right now, we know there's something there. These people aren't making this up. I have a video out of Perth, Australia, and it showed up down here. It looks like first, December 15th. Obviously, it could have showed up somewhere else, but you don't see too much of it. But there's something in the sky that was absorbing light from the moon. And again, this is not a reflection. You're going to see a reflection moving around, but this was the first video I got out of Perth, Western Australia, of something near the moon for a brief period of time that was absorbing, slightly reflecting light, but not much because it was at a different angle. Here we go. Gus, December 15th of 2023. This thing looks like it has returned.
When you put the camera up, like, you see like there's something there.
Let me give you a little bit more of the backstory here. They're a long ways away from their view of the moon. They're very far away, so they don't see this until they zoom in. But when they do zoom in, the object at the 7 o'clock position does not move. It stays there, and you'll see it kind of change shape a little bit. That's because of the very thin cloud cover that's in the area is causing the light to fluctuate a little bit. And that fluctuation in the light gives the appearance of it changing shape. It's not. It's just the amount of light that it's absorbing and slightly reflecting. But this thing doesn't have reflective properties like Mandy said when she saw it in 2022. She said it was very dark. Perth, Australia.
But not, we can't see that. Is that weird? Like a light. No, it looks like the light reflecting off the cloud.
Okay, I'll pause it right there. She said it looks like a light reflecting off of the cloud, implying that there's something in the sky by that cloud. Not only the crescent moon, but something reflecting light or absorbing light, just like we've been seeing. This is another example, guys. But
it's trippy, yes.
It says it's very trippy. The object could have just been entering the field of view. There was a very small crescent moon, so it wasn't putting off a lot of light. And this thing could have been far enough away from the moon where it wasn't necessarily too visible, like it was in Tom's video. Or
looks like the moon's. That looks like.
But again, if this were a reflection, it would be bouncing all over the screen. It wouldn't stay in the same place. They're outside. They're not behind a window. They're standing out in the backyard. So if that were a reflection, they'd be moving all over. They spotted something on December 15th. See how far away they were? No wonder they couldn't see it. It was barely visible with the phone. This section here, I zoomed in, and all I did was slightly adjust the lighting just a little bit. But again, there's that object at the 7 o'clock position, visible from Perth, Australia, December 15th. 8 days ago, 8 nights ago. Look at it. See, it's got a little bit of a shimmer to it, but not much. It's primarily dull. But I have the light highly on heavy saturation right here. So that's why you can see it kind of looks like it flickers a little bit, and it almost looks like maybe it's on its side or something. It's at a different angle. You gotta keep in mind, these things probably roll as they move through the solar system and galaxy. They don't just stay. You can tell this one here is probably not perfectly round. So we're going to get different views of it at different times when it is visible to humans on the surface of the Earth. Okay, now, that was Perth, Australia. I'm going to take you guys now to, I wanted to show you a moon reflection again. And this is a classic reflection right here. The reflections here, and again, it was bouncing all over the video. This is Alley Cat's video. The reflection is backwards. The moon is glowing on the 12 to 6 o'clock side of the moon, and the 12, 11, 10, 9, 8 is showing up in the reflection. See how it's flipped? If it looked just like the moon, it would be in the sky. A reflection's always right here. A reflection is right here. It's right there on your phone. When you're recording the sun, the reflection's right there. It's not in the sky. Okay, here we go. I'm going to take you guys now. Check this out. This is so wild. I couldn't even believe it. Get ready. This is crazy. Okay, this was sent in by Kay. Let me get to the very beginning. Yeah, here we go. Wow, this is wild. Kay Marie, Washington, D.C., 4 days later. We just came from Perth, Australia. December 15th of 2023, something showed up near the moon. From Perth, Australia, it showed up on the 7 o'clock position side of the moon in the, looked like the evening sky, or no, sun coming up, that would have been, yeah, that would have been the evening sky. This one here is obviously during the daytime, and from her point of view in Washington, D.C., this thing was now over, still around the lower half of the moon, but at the 5 o'clock position. See something over there? Well, that's not what she was watching. She was watching this up here, and I'm going to zoom in. You're going to be able to see that. That is a massive, and you tell me what we're looking at here. Best I can tell, it looks like a big wing. You'll see. She didn't even see the thing next to the moon. Check this out. This is wild. Washington, D.C., 4 days later. Here we go. She's filming this thing. Look at that. That thing's huge. She's obviously following that, right? Did you see what was next to the moon? She probably didn't notice it because it was so daylight. Okay, here I kind of, let me slow it down. I modified it just a little bit so you guys can see it. This is what she saw. She saw that moving through the sky. It looks like a big wing. There's no other way to describe it. It's not an airplane because it has no body. And there's no blinking lights. There was something over here on the far right-hand side that had a little bit of a light appearance. But watch, I'm going to zoom in on this thing. This is what she's watching. Watch it fly by the object below the moon. See it? Like it knew it was there. Are you serious? And again, look, let me show you something. Okay, there you go. There's a decent view right there. It's hard to see because it's broad daylight. But again, both of the same sides are illuminated. The right-hand side of if that's a reflection, it wouldn't be illuminated on the right-hand side, as we just saw from Alley Cat's video. It would be illuminated on the left-hand side, not the right. The right is an exact replica of what's in the sky. That's impossible. So that was something in the sky on December 19th at sometime during the daylight. And this, a giant wing, again, you can't make this stuff up, flew through the sky outside the atmosphere. Here's a close-up view of it. And I'm going to zoom in even closer. I'm going to switch up formats. You're going to be able to see, and that's what she was following. That, not the object near the moon. So here I slow it down and I'm zooming in on the object. It looks quite large. It looks like, to me, it like was outside the atmosphere. I slowed it down. I paused it right here. Let me pause it again. Okay, now you have that big object, whatever it was. That's what she was following. There you go. See it? Right there you go. The big object is in between the moon and this other object. And now you tell me, what is that thing? You can't make this stuff up. This is a real video by a real person, and the only place you'll probably see it in the world's right here. She sent it to me. Her name's Kay Marie, and you can tell she just took this video on the fly. She saw it, she got her video out and started recording. That's why there's such a huge increase in sightings, because everybody has these devices, and they're usually on them all the time. Okay, but anyway, here goes. See it? That thing is huge. And it looks like, to me, it's outside the atmosphere. That's not an airplane. If that's an airplane, it's probably a few miles wide. These are just different formats. I'm focusing on this object that she saw. That's what drew her attention to the sky. She didn't even notice that. And that wasn't a reflection, or it would have moved and it would be flipped. There's the object. There's the object. There's the object that she saw. That's what drew her attention to the sky. And there's that at the 5 o'clock position on this day. And again, they're both shining on the same side. That's impossible. The light would be, if that were a reflection, the light would be on the left-hand side, just like in this picture here, okay? That's why the reflection would be flipped. And it's not. It's an exact replica of what's in the sky. And a reflection doesn't work that way. It can't. Okay, so anyway, I'm zooming in on that in a different format. There it is again. Here's this large flying machine that Kay Marie saw. And again, that's what drew her attention to the sky, was this. That's a solid structure that was above Washington, D.C. on December 19th. What is that? Okay, here it is in a inverted format. Light is dark, dark is light. See it? That's what she saw. This thing is shaped like a, I don't know. It's a little difficult to tell. I don't think these things were designed to advertise and be seen. They're very difficult to see. She was quick enough to actually get a video of this thing because it was only visible for a few seconds. Okay, here's the object below the other rogue object. There's the dark object that I think was seen by Mandy in 2022. It was seen by Gus in 2023. Seen by Kay Marie. It showed up in a video in 2023, and it was seen by Tom in 2023. I think this thing's on a 13-month orbit, and I think next year, here we go. Here's another format of both of these objects. The moon is out of the field of view in this particular photo. But the moon is glowing on the same side as whatever this is. So they're both reflecting sunlight. That's not a reflection. If it were a reflection, it would be flipped. It can't work that's what the camera saw in the sky. This down here is some sort of a flying machine that made no sound and had no blinking lights, and it appeared to be quite large. So this was 4 days after Gus, and the person that was with Gus, here's a pretty good view right there. I just kind of switched up the color and lighting, and there you go. Looks a lot like what Mandy saw. If I can find her picture right here. Here's what Mandy saw in southern Arizona right there. And there's that thing in the sky above Washington, D.C. I think it's the same thing. It's just at a different angle. And it is dark. It doesn't shine bright like the moon was actually bright in the daytime sky. This thing's very dull. I don't know. You tell me. And then that object acted like it wasn't flying in the vicinity of that thing by chance. It knew it was there. That's why it was there. Whatever it may be. And here it is next to the moon. Again, at the 5 o'clock position, these are just different formats, giving us a little better perspective of whatever it was. And again, if that were a reflection, the light would be flipped. It can't look exactly like the moon. If we're a reflection of the moon, it would be flipped. That has to be in the sky. That's just how that works. I mean, and she didn't see it. She saw the thing moving, but she didn't see that, but it showed up in her video. So wild, and it reminded me so much of what Mandy saw in southern Arizona. These are just different formats of the same thing. Looks like right there, of what Mandy saw in southern Arizona, what Tom saw on his camera on December 21st. So Mandy saw it on November 16th of 2022. And here they are side by side. This is 2022 on the left, 2023 on the right. To me, those look like one's at night and one's in the daytime, and they're both very difficult to see. She said it was like she described it as a gray, blackish, flat matte color that did not reflect light. It just kind of absorbed light, and light would just disappear into the thing. She said it was very hard to see, but she watched it for almost an hour. Over here on the left, 2022, 2023. So could there be something on a highly elliptical orbit that comes and goes?
All right, well, right here, look.
Okay, this is the video that we shared yesterday by Tom. I'm sure you guys have all seen this. I'm not going to play it again because it's an 8-minute video. If you want to watch it, it's yesterday's video. That was the entire length of the video was Tom's experience. Tom sent me 2 videos. He sent me this one that you guys saw yesterday, and that's this object right there. And again, notice the camera moving. Camera's moving around. If it were some sort of a reflection, the reflection would be moving around too. Notice the light. The position of the light on the moon from his point of view is on the right. The light coming off of the object down there is also on the right. So that tells you it has to be in the sky because the light off of both of the objects is reflecting off of probably the sun. That's well below the horizon, but that's what illuminates the moon is the sun. So that tells us this is up high enough to receive moonlight, but it's very dark. It doesn't shine like the moon, and it's hard to see, and it's only visible when it gets near the moon, and probably just by sheer chance for a few hours, and then it just disappears. So this is the video by Tom. This video is 8 minutes long. I have another video sent in by Tom. And here it disappears behind the clouds. There was cloud cover on this night, not much. But the moon is still shining very, very brightly. So if that were a reflection, it would easily still be in the photo, because the reflection, remember, is right here. The reflection is not in the sky. The reflection is on the lens of your recording device. It's right there, literally on that piece of glass. So a cloud's not going to affect that. There's still light there. Where'd the reflection go? It's not a reflection. It's a physical body in the sky that went behind the clouds. So yes, that's what showed up in Tom's video. It wouldn't have disappeared. It wouldn't even have been influenced by the clouds. If so, not very much. If it was on the lens of your recording device, if it was a reflection. So he sent me another video, okay? And this was an excellent video from, I want to say December 21st. It was spotted on the 15th of December in Perth, Australia. It was spotted on the 19th of December in Washington, D.C., and it was spotted in this location, I want to say this is in North America, by Tom on December 21st. And that is an excellent video. He also shared two videos. This video was just over 8 minutes long, and then he shared this video here. And I put the videos side by side. You're going to see this object much closer to the moon. And I think this was on the next night. It may have been the same night. But he said in this video that the object had moved, which would imply that it was moving a little bit faster than the moon, or the moon's moving a little bit slower, vice versa. But here's the object here. This is a separate video.
Where that object is now.
And again, if it were a reflection, it would be moving all over the place. And he's outside, okay? He's not behind glass inside of a house or car. He's outside. But this is another video that I didn't share yesterday, but I said I would today.
Video on where that object was to where it is now in 4 months. It's friggin' there, and it's back behind the moon. It is moving, and there it is without question. All you people can say there ain't nothing up there, we're lying, we're making it up. It's there, and it's moving.
There it is. That's a good view of it right there. So what Tom said in this video here was just under 3 minutes long. And here I've just adjusted the formats a little bit, trying to pull forward any possible features, trying to get a better look at this thing. And at this angle, you know, it was hard to see because it was partially tucked in, and you can tell it's behind the moon. If that were a reflection, you'd be able to tell it would be in front of the moon, and a reflection would be moving all over the place. A reflection is simply on your lens. It's not in the sky, it's on your lens. So this remaining stationary was in the sky. It had changed position, and he saw it a couple of times, whatever it may be. And again, I think this thing, whatever it may be, is on some sort of a, it looks like if what we're seeing is indeed true, and there is something there, it's just a matter of, okay, you know, we don't have specialized equipment. We can see these things by random chance. Because of observant people that use their phones and whatnot, and they capture these things on video, and we can try to piece together this mysterious puzzle, but without any other way to track these other than people and making random observations on the fly. it's almost next to impossible. But we can get close. Mandy saw it in November of 2022, November 16th to be specific. Something else shows up near the moon 13 months later, almost in the same exact position, and it looks eerily similar to what Mandy saw from southern Arizona. It's dark, and it could have been the atmospheric conditions. In his video, this thing looks like it's brownish red. Are you serious? Wow. What is that thing? And again, if it were a reflection, it can't be an exact replica of what's in the field of view. It would be flipped if it were a reflection. There it is. I don't know. It's dark red, well, not dark red. It's kind of got a light red color to it, reddish brown. Like you would associate an asteroid or something like that with. That's what that one looks like. Okay, so we've been to Perth, we've been to Washington, and then there's the video that I just shared with you, the second video that was sent in by Tom of this mysterious object that has been spotted in the sky now 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. I didn't hear about it in 2021. I'm not saying it wasn't there. I don't know. Maybe some other folks saw it, and I didn't know about it, and you guys didn't know about it, but it was definitely spotted. There was something in the sky seen by multiple people in 2022. Alley Cat saw it, and it was recorded on her phone right there. You can clearly see there's that object again. This time it was above the moon and then disappeared. It probably disappeared sometime after this video and went back on its journey wherever it came from. And then we've seen it multiple times this year. This one here I found especially interesting. You could tell it was just kind of entering the field of view in Perth, Australia, visible from Perth, Australia, gust on 12/15 of this year. You can see it was kind of probably at a different angle, but something was there, deflecting light, absorbing light. There was something in the sky, and I think that's when it first showed up. But the one that I found, honestly, the most compelling was this one here in the daylight above Washington, D.C. by Kay Marie. They're all good. They're all great. They're all great examples. But this thing here, I don't think she saw it. She was watching this thing up here in the sky, whatever it was. And I want to show this again because this is very fascinating video footage of a large object, and I mean huge. And that looks like it's outside the atmosphere, kind of casually cruising through the sky. And that's what she was following, that thing. And she happened to record that object, and the video was only about 15 seconds long. And there it is again. And there's the object behind the moon. And it flew right at it, like it knew it was there. That's no coincidence. I mean, what are the odds of her seeing some sort of a large, mysterious object like that in the daytime sky, and it just happened to be in the same vicinity of all the places it could have been in the sky? It just happened to be in the vicinity of this object that people have been seeing also in the nighttime sky. It showed up temporarily in the daytime sky as well. And I know I agree with you. I'm like, well, why aren't people all over the world seeing this? I totally agree 100%. But people all over the world didn't see that. That thing was in the sky for a grand total of about 6 seconds. She had the presence of mind to get out her camera and start recording it and sent that video, maybe 10 seconds tops. It was visible for 10 seconds worldwide, and she happened to capture it. This thing here that was visible behind the sun, and again, they both have light on the right-hand side. A reflection, it just simply can't do that. That was in the sky. It could have only been visible for a couple of minutes, and it just so happened to be visible when this thing here was flying in the same vicinity. Right there it goes. And it looks like, from what I could tell right there, it looks like it flew in front of it, in front of the dark object behind the moon. I mean, that is amazing video footage. You've got two huge mysteries going on right here in the matter of 15 seconds. You got this big mysterious object, and then you've got a mysterious object below the moon. You can't make this stuff up. And to me, it's not that far-fetched because I understand how crowded it is in our solar system. Every solar system is very, very crowded. They're full of objects that are like this right here. They're all over the place. They're everywhere. And for one to drift in the inner solar system of any solar system, whether it be ours or one somewhere else, because there are other ones. I think I found a couple. I don't know if they ever got named or not, but I used to be a planet hunter. I did that back in 2009. There's possibilities. The possibilities are, let's say, infinite. I'll put it to you that way. But that right there, could that enter our sky and hang out by the moon and be influenced by the moon's gravity and the Earth's gravity and stuff like that temporarily? Sure, absolutely it could. And then keep on cruising. Maybe it's not an asteroid. Maybe it doesn't behave like an asteroid. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's like a star core or something like that. There's all kinds of fascinating things out there. And it looks like to me that this is one of those things. And I think it's on some sort of a 13-year orbit. If it shows up in January of next year, around the 16th, 15th, again, around that time frame, because it showed up December 15th, apparently from Perth, Australia, and it was seen November 16th of 2022, and it shows up again December 15th of 2023. Well, it should show up January 16th of 2024. We'll see. So you guys keep your eyes on the skies and be watching the phases of the moon. Pay attention to the January moon of 2024, or I'm sorry, no, can't be January of 2024. It would have to be 13 months would be January of 2025, because January 2024 is 2 weeks away, not even 2 weeks away. So it would be January of 2025. If this thing is on a 13-month orbit, it would be visible January 2025. In the daytime sky, apparently, at times, and in the nighttime sky, at times, because we don't know its exact movements, but that's not a reflection. That was something in the sky, spotted by multiple people. It's been seen now 2 years in a row from Arizona. Alley Cat, I think Alley Cat might be from Scotland. I'm not sure. There's both of those objects right there in the same field of view. This is a flying machine down here at the bottom, and that's that object that was spotted by Mandy, by Tom, by Gus, by Kay Marie, by Alley Cat. It's been seen by probably more people than that, but these were the folks that I knew that just happened to capture that thing right there on camera. Again, right-hand side is in the daytime sky. Left-hand side is in the nighttime sky at 2:45 in the morning. And this is exactly right around 13 months apart within just about 4 days. So this thing could be on, like I said, a year orbit. There's things that are on all kinds of a variety of orbits, 75-year orbits, 100-year orbits, 1 year orbit. The moon's on a 29.7 day orbit. It's all about the orbits. Everything's orbiting everything. Stuff is everywhere out there. It's a very busy, crowded place. But I think we had a visitor that our moon revealed to us in 2022. I think the same visitor was revealed again in 2023. I think it showed up, it was visible from Perth. I think when it was first visible this year, I think it was noticed down here by Gus. They couldn't see that until they got right up close. So that tells me it wasn't real close to the moon. It tells me it was getting close to the moon. That's why it was just barely visible from Perth, Australia. So that was probably when it was making its return. And who knows, it may not be alone. But for now, this is what's going on in the skies above Earth. Something is up there. All of these people can't be wrong, and all of their cameras can't be glitching at the same time just because they're seeing something mysterious in the sky. And not only that, number three, um, Mandy observed this thing for nearly an hour, saw it for nearly an hour in the sky. Um, and she said it was unlike anything she'd ever seen. So that's my 2 cents worth, guys. I think there was something there. I really do. I'm an image analyst. That's what I do, and I've analyzed these images. And it's my humble opinion that yes, there was something, a physical structure. What it is, I don't know, but there was a physical structure in the sky during all of these photos and videos that you've seen here. Yes, there was something physical there that was redirecting light from Perth, Australia. There was something in this video that was at the 12 o'clock position, video by Alley Cat. There was something up there. They were outside. You can see they're out here by a tree in the backyard filming the moon. They're not behind glass. If you're in a car and you're filming through a window, the video basically doesn't count. And I've told people that they've sent me like really cool videos of stuff, but you can't properly analyze the video that was taken from inside of a car because you got glass on the right, left, front, and back. You got glass, so you got light bouncing all over the place. So the videos just simply don't count because there could be some sort of a light anomaly, and there will be. I've seen it. I've seen people's belt buckles show up in the sky. They took a picture from inside the car. The belt buckle reflected, and it showed up on the inside of the windshield backwards, but it looked like it was in the sky, and it was a belt buckle clip. I've seen that in photos. So any photo from inside of a car, it doesn't count because of the glass. A photo taken from behind a glass of a luminary like the moon or the sun doesn't count because of the reflections. It can create reflections. This thing here, outside, in the backyard, not moving around, and the reflection right there is moving around. There's the reflection. That's normal in every video you take of the sun or the moon. There's the reflection right there. And it's showing you that the light's on the left in the reflection, but the light is actually on the right on the real physical object. And that's how reflections work with these smartphones. So these people saw something in the sky. Exactly what? Your guess is as good as mine. Apparently, there's some sort of an object that's either part of our family and we just haven't recognized this object yet, or maybe it hasn't been recognized yet. I don't know. But if people are seeing it now 2 years in a row, this is no coincidence, and it was at the same position 2 years in a row now. We might have a new family member. Somebody needs to give it a name. I don't know what we got going on here, but that's what's going on in the sky above the earth. And you know what? This is just the one that has been seen now 2 years in a row by multiple people. Mandy's entire family, that's four. Alley Cat had a witness, that's two. Gus had a witness, so that's two more, that's eight. And then Tom and Kay Marie, that's 10 people now. 10 people that have, Kay Marie didn't see it, it showed up in her video. But you've got 10 people, 9 people that have witnessed this thing in the sky. 9. So they can't all be wrong. And you guys did a great job. And thanks for sharing. I really do appreciate that. Here's a new photo over here at the homepage of the website. And guys, I encourage you, like where I'm at today, it's very cloudy. I won't be able to check out the moon. We can look at the moon phase. Where are we at? 20, it's at 87% illumination. So the moon will be coming up in the eastern sky. That's probably already up now. But go check and see if this thing is still there. It's obviously very elusive. These people that ran across it, they weren't looking for it. It just showed up. So it probably just kind of, I don't know how it functions, but it's probably getting ready to leave again. If you're able to check out the moon, go take a look and see. It might be there. I don't know. Like I said, it's cloudy here today. The weather forecast was pretty accurate. We got, I don't know, I would say in our location, we probably got an inch of rain, give or take, right around in there. It rained pretty much off and on all day yesterday on Friday, but today hasn't rained a drop, I don't think. And it was supposed to rain yesterday and today, but we'll take the rain we got yesterday. We love to see it rain out here. This is a photo that was sent in by Dan out of the United Kingdom. Talk about a psychedelic sky. Are you serious? And you know what I found out what's going on? There's been an outbreak of these psychedelic skies visible from the United Kingdom, like this photo here, visible from Scotland, visible from Norway, obviously Sweden. I've received photos from Norway, the United Kingdom, Scotland, and one other place, like 3 or 4 different places. I think maybe Ireland. I'm not sure, but up in the higher latitudes, supposedly there's a weather phenomena underway, and the atmosphere, for some reason, is super cold this year. And it's probably, if I had to guess, I would say it's got something to do with the polar vortex, because there's been an outbreak of these very psychedelic skies. I'll share it in my next video. I have a lot of really cool photos and video footage of this very phenomenon you see right here. They're called, some people call them nacreous clouds. Some people call them polar stratospheric clouds. I think they're both correct. I call them psychedelic skies. I mean, look at all the colors you've got going on there. You've got yellow, orange, green, blue, pink, purple, red, a variety of an emerald green. You've got brown clouds, black cloud. I mean, you've got it all happening there. That is some kind of a cool looking sky. And people have been seeing that around the solstice, December 21st. So it's no coincidence that the sun angle's at its steepest for people up in the northern hemisphere, and it's illuminating all these cold particles in the upper atmosphere. That's all that's going on. I mean, it's not like it's anything nefarious. It's an abundance of cold air, ice crystals, and it makes it look psychedelic because the sun is way down at the 23.6 degree south latitude. That's where it's at from our point of view in the northern hemisphere. So this type of stuff can happen around the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere, and it can also happen in the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere, which theirs is June 21st. Ours is December 21st, and this has been observed in the skies above Scotland, the United Kingdom, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Ireland. Iceland. I think I got photos from Iceland. People are seeing this. And have been seeing this now for multiple nights in a row during not so much sunrise, but I think sunset, maybe a combination of both. But it's really cool to see. And again, I have a fascinating video that I want to share with you guys of again, multiple photos and videos that have been sent in here recently. But I encourage you to check out the moon if you get a chance. If it's visible in your area, again, it's not visible here, or I would be out there checking it out 100,000%. I guarantee you I would, but it's cloudy here. It never rains in Arizona. You guys know that. And we've been getting rain for, not so much today, but we got a lot of rain yesterday, but the clouds are still lingering around, and it turned much cooler. I think our high temperature today was is in the 60s, which is good. I like it. Yeah, it's welcome. Bring it on. That's good. But with the cloud cover, I'm not going to be able to investigate the moon, but you guys can. You guys can check out the moon. And this is Tom's video. Once again, this is the second video that he shared with me of the object closer to the moon. And you can see his camera is moving around all over the place. And he's obviously, doing this freehand, and that's quite normal. I've done my share of videos freehand, and it's hard to keep it steady when you're trying to film a point of light in the nighttime sky. It's not easy to do. So he did a good job, and whatever it was stayed right there. It didn't move around like you would see a reflection, because a reflection, you got to keep in mind, is on the device that's in your hand. That's why it moves, because your hand can move just a little bit, and that reflection goes all over the place. It's the movement of your hand. It's causing the reflection to move because it's on your device. So yeah, there was something there. Tom saw it twice, And again, Kay Marie, which I found quite fascinating, saw this in the daytime sky. And I think she recorded it by sheer accident in her video. She was recording what looked like, I don't know, you guys tell me what that was. I don't know, in case you missed it, I'll show you guys what we looked at above Washington, D.C. December 19th, right here. This was in the sky by the moon in a video that came out of Washington, D.C. I'm assuming this would be the afternoon of December 19th. I'll play the video again. This is a classic now. Check this out. There goes what looks like a, I don't know. You guys tell me. There it is. So she was following that. Not a bunch of birds migrating. They're done migrating. They're migrating done. They're where they're supposed to be. Those were not birds. Back up again, and it's no coincidence that it goes right by that thing there. That was spotted in Perth, Australia, on the other side of the moon, and then there it goes. Some sort of a huge flying machine that maintained the same general shape. I'm going to zoom in and I slow it down, and it almost looks dark, like the object itself. The witnesses said it was dark. It's not reflecting light too much, if any at all. The moving object almost looks semi-transparent. And it looks like to me that it was no coincidence that it flew right in the vicinity of that object there that was under the moon at the 5 o'clock position. From our point of view, that's all we can say for sure. It was at the 5 o'clock position of the moon. Whether it was behind the moon, under the moon, nobody can tell. You have no depth perception at this angle. You can take a wild guess, but that's all it is at the end of the day. But there is something there. Definitely something there, just like that thing right there. It was there. It was moving in the video. It wasn't a lens glare. That was moving. That was stationary. This thing up here was moving, and it had a unique shape. It was shaped like I don't know. You guys tell me. On a big wing, a boomerang. Looked like it was built to fly. You know what I mean? And it looked good size. It looked very big. And there's a good view of both. Once again, in the daytime sky above Washington, D.C. Today is December 23rd, and that was 96 hours ago. Yeah, 96 hours ago. Yeah, that's what Tom said. Tom, in his video that he shared with us, which was an excellent video, by the way, Tom was saying in his video that I shared with you guys yesterday, he said that this was what he saw, he felt like was undeniable proof that there was something in the sky in his location on that day, December 21st. He said that it was just undeniable. He was just totally taken back by this object right here once again. And this is probably one of the better views I think I've seen of this thing that's been showing up now for 2 years in a row. And Tom was very adamant that this was in the sky. This was not a reflection. It's not really even reflecting light. It's just kind of there, you know what I mean? And what light that is coming off of this thing, it's the same side as the moon. So that's telling you that this is an exact replica of what's in the sky. It's not a reflection, it'd be flipped. That was in the sky. He said it was in the sky. And it was moving very, very slowly and quite mysterious. And maybe other people have seen it and we just don't know about it, you know? And maybe it only comes around the moon at certain times because the moon's always constantly moving, and apparently this thing kind of changes orientation with respect to the moon, and maybe it tries to keep up with the moon. I have no idea, but I know it showed up in daytime video footage, it showed up in nighttime video footage, and this thing has been seen in the sky, not just in videos or photos. So I do think these videos are very good. These photos are very good, and they all have merit. there's something there in the sky. Exactly what? As always, I'll leave it up to you. But I personally think that yes, there is something that's a new member of our cosmic family, our solar system. That little thing right there. Maybe it's not so little, but it looks like to me that we could possibly have a new member that's been visiting now for the last 2 years. They visited on Thanksgiving, and it looks like this year they visited around Christmas. And if they come back on the same schedule that they've been coming around on every 13 months, should be back in January of 2025. So mark your calendar, watch the moon, and see if this thing shows up January of 2025. It showed up 2 years in a row by sheer accident. When I interviewed Mandy, I felt the pure excitement in her email. I could tell she was being truthful. She's very humble. She wasn't looking for attention. I've never talked to her prior to our conversation that we had, and I haven't talked to her since. She had this incredible experience that she's still trying to process. Went out and bought an expensive telescope when you don't even really need a telescope. She saw it with the naked eye, but she was so fascinated by this thing, she wanted to see it up close. So she went and purchased a telescope to see this thing, whatever it may be, up close. This was in November of 2022, and it looks like it's returned in 2023. And the question is, will it return in 2024? Not necessarily in 2024, but 2025. 13 months from now would be January of 2025. So we'll see. I'm going to be looking. I'll have apparently you don't need a telescope, so don't go buy one. Probably a good set of binoculars might help. Something as simple as that, because this is showing up quite easily. But I don't know how you could monitor the moon 24/7. These people just happen to be in the right place, doing the right thing at the right time. And that was in the same vicinity as the moonlight. It doesn't reflect light very well. You can tell, like Mandy said, it's dark, and it is a dark object. And we don't know all of the objects that are in our solar system. We don't have them all named. We're finding new ones all the time. If you watch the list over at spaceweather.com, I remember when the list of near-Earth asteroids was under 100, and now it's over 2,000. So they're finding new ones every day, and I would say this one here is either on that list and we just don't know about it because that's pretty near Earth, or that is a new one and they were just waiting on it to maybe come back. Well, it's back, and it looks to be pretty good size, whatever it may be. But you know what? It was here last year. It left and came back. This year, it's probably going to do the same thing it did last year, leave and come back again. So it's not anything nefarious. I don't think it's anything that's associated with, is it going to impact the Earth? No, it doesn't look like it, or it already would have. It looks like we might have a new member. It's either orbiting the moon in some sort of weird orbit, which I don't think so, because if that were the case, it probably would be visible on a weekly basis or monthly basis. This thing's only visible from what we've seen and understand. We're trying to understand what this is. It's only visible it's like once every 13 months. Multiple times in that visible period, that window, whatever that window might be, 10 days, might be 8 days, that it'll kind of dance around the moon and then disappear. But it apparently likes to dance around the moon, because we've seen it in both the night and daytime skies, from Perth, Australia, Washington, D.C., and southern Arizona. Way to go, guys. You are on the ball. You don't miss a trick. You're good. You guys are real good. You're sky watchers. You know what it is. You know what's going on. It's Santa. Enough 20, like a Santa. He's a mighty big Santa. Can't see anything. Just trying to say hi to some of you guys. What's up, guys? Hope you're having a great day. What is today? Saturday. Today's Saturday. We're almost to 2024. Wow, where did this year go? Almost 2024. Yes, the Great American Eclipse. S. Lee of 2024. April 8th. Yes, sir. April 8th of 2023. You want to know the countdown? I'm watching it every day. Here we go. We are at 106 days, S. Lee, and everybody in the room. 106 days away from a historical event. We have a volcanic comet that's going to enter the sky on the same day as this eclipse on April 8th of 2024. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you, you can't. Truth is stranger than fiction. You want truth? Just go hang around outside for a little while. Pay attention. There's something to see out there all the time. There's more action up there than there is down here on the ground. But anyway, during this eclipse, we're going to be joined by a celestial body, a volcanic comet larger than Houston, Texas, and right here it is. Comet 12P Pons Brooks, and this is its location right now as I do this video. It's coming in, diving down towards the sun, just like this object here that's been spotted, near the moon. I don't find it that unusual at all. I mean, there's so much stuff out there, it's not even countable. There's no way to even count all of the things out there, and there's probably new things that are being created all the time anyway. But this is a comet, a good-sized comet, that's going to be visible right in the middle of this eclipse. And I'm going to do my very best. I'm planning on doing it live somewhere in the path of totality on April 8th of 2024, doing a live stream of the comet entering the sky. Are you serious? The comet coming in, it's going to be like we're going to have the moon's going to block the sun, daylight's going to turn to darkness, and then a star is going to shine brightly in the sky next to the sun. This is like a script for a movie. I mean, we got to be there. We're going to be there doing a live stream, and we're also going to film, once it starts to become visible, we're going to film this comet. And hopefully, on this day, it's going to put on a show like it's been doing these past several months. It'll these what they call ice volcanoes that apparently are on this thing. Hopefully there'll be volcanic eruptions during the eclipse. Can you imagine looking at a star right here, up here with a tail and wings coming out the side? Astronomers have been describing these things as having wings. What? But it's true. So here's the thing. April 8th of 2024, somewhere in this path, I'm just simply waiting on a decent weather forecast. And who's going to have the best probability of zero clouds? I'd like to have zero clouds during the total eclipse, and the path of totality is going through these states: Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And of course, it's going up into Canada. Our friends in Montreal are going to be in the path of totality. How cool is that? Right on, guys. Toronto, you're going to be right on the edge. Going up into New Brunswick, Fredericton, right through the middle of Maine, going right through the middle of Newfoundland. John up in St. John's is going to have to move over about 25 miles and you'll be in the path of totality, but it's going through Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, all through the central United States, and of course down through Mexico, coming in near Monterey. If you're in Monterey, you have to drive about 75 miles to the northwest and you'll be in the path of totality. But we're going to be in one of these states here. It's either going to be Texas, Arkansas, Indiana, Ohio, whoever's got the best weather forecast. I'm going to have to go on a 10-day weather forecast, so I need somebody good. At least, and there's enough good weather apps out there. We can figure out where it's not going to be cloudy. But we're going to do the eclipse live, comet live, winged comet live in how many days? 106 days. 106 days. And you guys that are in the path of totality, you guys are in for a treat, man. Are you serious? This is a historic event. This yellow line here is the path of 100% totality. You'll see the entire eclipse look like this. That's what you'll see. if you're in the path, the best show on earth going right through your town, man. Potentially, if you're in this path, Cleveland, Buffalo, Rochester, Burlington. I'm just naming a few of these major cities. Dayton, Ohio, Indianapolis, Indiana, Evansville, Indiana, just north of Louisville, Kentucky, just south of St. Louis, Missouri, Carbondale, Illinois. You're right in the middle. You got the best seat in the house, man. If you're in Carbondale, are you serious? Little Rock, Arkansas, right on the money. Tyler, Texas, Waco, Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, probably Plano, Rockstar Preacher. You're going to have one of the best seats in the house, my man. Austin's right on the edge. San Antonio's right on the edge. But what's neat about like San Antonio and I think Austin, they were in the first eclipse that we just saw back in October. It went right through Texas again. And San Antonio, I think Austin was right in the middle of the first eclipse, and they're going to be in the middle of the second eclipse. How cool is that? So we're waiting on a 10-day forecast, and then we'll decide where we're going to go. We're 106 days away from probably one of the most cool total solar eclipses ever. You can't make this stuff up. It's going to be joined by an inbound comet that's on its way right now. And this is the NASA JPL that's showing us where this is at, not me. I've been following this thing for many, many weeks, and that's where it's at right now. And we'll step it forward. Watch. We'll step it forward to April 8th. Here we go. It's coming in. Just stepping it forward. We are now February. See it coming in? See how it's lower now? Check it out. Watch where it's going to be April 8th. Earth is coming around the bend. Comet coming in hot. And it's like, oh, y'all having an eclipse? Let me join the party. Here we go. There's April 9th. Let me back it up a day. I don't know if I'll be able to go in. Yeah, there we go. There's the comet right there. And it's going to be visible from the Earth right over here. See that? So there's the sun. Here's the Earth. And there's where the comet's going to be right there during the eclipse. See that? April 8th, 2024. That's why I keep this open on my desktop all the time, 24/7. I've been waiting on this thing for a long time. It's an ancient time traveler. And it's 106 days away from the whole world's going to see this thing. They'll see it eventually. You'll be able to see it in a big portion of North America. Just because you're not in the path of totality doesn't mean you won't see it. Like, for instance, let's pick a place. Let's pick Miami. Let's go to Miami. Miami in the southern tip of Florida is in the 45% range. So they'll still be able to see the eclipse from Miami, even though they're not in the path of 100%. They'll be able to see about half of it from Miami. Out here in Phoenix, follow this line. I'm over here at greatamericaneclipse.com. Phoenix, Arizona, follow the line back, 65%. So from my location, that's what it would look like, a 65% eclipse. And then, of course, the closer you get to the path of totality, it's 90, 95, and then, of course, the ideal, 100%. But that would be the greatest show on earth. That day is 106 days away, April 8th of 2024. We're going to be there live to see this, guys, from one of these places. I don't know where. Whoever's got the best weather, whoever's got zero clouds, no clouds, and good internet. Got to have good internet. That's definitely a must. All right, so enough of that. Well, listen, guys, thanks for stopping by. I want to thank all of you. I keep the chat room over here where I can see you guys. What is up? Lynn Mode, Zar, Leon F. Bean, Unite and Create for Life. What's going on, guys? Jace Ventura. Yeah, I think it's going to be the greatest eclipse ever. I do, 100%. I don't think there's ever been an eclipse that was joined by a volcanic comet. A total solar eclipse? I don't think so. Not that I can recall. Absolutely. I think that's going to be one for the history books from here to infinity. That's going to be a quite a show, quite a show. Just the solar eclipse is awesome. That is totally awesome to see that, and then throw in a feisty comet that's up here at about the 10 o'clock position, blowing off whatever during the eclipse. Looks like a winged planet during the eclipse or a winged star. Wow, we got to see that, guys. We got to see it. We got to see it. So we're going to go live to one of those locations. So it might be in your neck of the woods. Penny Burns, I think so too. It's going to be cool. Leave the world behind, guys. I no comment. No comment. The comment is nefarious. Hi, they once knew Fubar. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I always forget to tell you guys that, and I tell you not to forget, and I forget to tell you. I mean that's a quagmire or something like that. But anyway, yes, if you enjoy the content and you would like more of my videos in the future, you can subscribe and then click on the bell. There's a notifications bell. It's a two-step process. If you want notifications when I upload a video, click notify all videos, notify some videos. It's a two-step process. So just because you subscribe, that does not mean you'll receive video notifications. It's a two-step process, and I get it. I totally do. Um, they don't want people's phones just constantly chiming. Let's say you subscribe to 200 channels, and let's say they all upload in the same day and in the same hour, and you want notifications from all of those. Well, your phone's going to be chiming 200 times in 60 minutes. So pick and choose the ones that you want notified. If you would like mine notified to your device, I would be very humble. Just remember, it's a two-step process. Subscribe and then click the notifications bell. And thank you guys for stopping by today. Another interesting video from these highly alert people that are noticing these incredible things in the skies of the earth. And once again, I think we might, according to this footage and to the very best of my analysis abilities, that is something in the sky. I know we can easily dismiss a lot of these things as light reflections, and I do. I have many times some of the coolest looking things. I'm like, nope, sorry. The photo was taken from behind a window in a car, so it is not. It just basically you can't use it because of the potential light contamination. The glass will create lens flares, but as long as we can recognize a lens flare like we see there from something else, then we have a chance to learn something, which is always cool. You should try to learn something new every day. But if the skies are clear where you're at, maybe go out and just kind of take a peek at the moon and look around, because people are seeing this. There have been multiple people see this without the aid of a telescope or even binoculars. But I don't know its habits, so it may be farther away, maybe retreating, maybe visible. It's unknown, but people have seen it. Something new in the skies above planet Earth. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a day. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it, everybody. I'll be doing another live stream here probably in a day or two. I won't be doing one on Christmas, but we'll do something. I don't know what, but just remember to subscribe and click the notification button if you want notified when I upload a video. Once again, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for all the content. If you guys have any photos or videos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com. And guys, I work on email every day. If I haven't got to one that you've sent, just know I'm working on it. There's a lot of email, a lot of good photos that come in, and I try to get to them all. If I don't get to it, I got to one here that I didn't even know was there. Some of them, they get, I don't know, sometimes the notifications, my notifications, that one day the email will be there, and then the next day there'll be a new 30 in there in the same day. So I do check it every day, though. So I'm working on the email every day. Also, if you guys have large videos that you would like to share that I know sometimes won't attach to the email, come over here to this red tab that says have a large video. And here's all it is. It's very simple. Click on it. It'll take you to a Dropbox that I've set up right here. And you can drag and drop. I just received a video yesterday that was an hour and 25 minutes long. Yeah, you can drag and drop long video, big files in there. So if you have a large video that you would like to share that you know is not going to attach to an email, come over here to the homepage of the website, MrMBB333.com. Look for this red banner that says have a large video. Drag and drop your video into the Dropbox, and please include your first name, date, and location. And I'll take it from there. I'll work on it like I've done these videos here, and zoom in, and I'll keep it original, but I always try to go in close sometimes just for presentation purposes, but it's always original, real stuff from real people. Once again, thanks for watching, guys. Have a super day and be safe out there.